The following program is a production of Naleo TV.
Aloha and welcome to the Audrey Wilson Cooking Show. Today I have a very special guest, Dave DeLuz. He's the Vice President of
David S. DeLuz Senior Enterprises,
Okay.
but more popularly known as Big Island Toyota.
Big Island Toyota. Okay. So today we're going to cook some special things that your favorite things.
Yeah, something simple. I normally like to cook at home, so we made our forever house. Kind of designed the kitchen for it that way, but I like, and actually I need to learn to eat healthier, so I just took KTA's program, which was really great, and so cooking with less sugar, less salt. So today we'll do some beef tomato, what I call Hawaiian style, and as a side dish we're gonna have portobello mushroom stir fry, along with an indulgence of corn on the cob.
When you want a great meal, local style, turn on the Leo and sit a while. Watch and listen, then you'll know just how to do it on Audrey Wilson's Cooking Show.
So what are we going to start with? Are we going to start with the
Well, what we're gonna do
The
is
beef?
we're gonna just get the, so I have.
I am going to turn this on.
We're gonna bring to a boil, which we did already previously to
okay.
get it going.
So tell me what you have in here. You had
So,
water
one
and
block of butter
okay.
and 3 sprinkles of a light red salt.
Oh, okay.
And so that's really the only salt that I use. And then
Okay.
after, if you want to sprinkle it, you're welcome to. And then so I
Okay.
bring it to a boil and
Okay.
I use frozen corn.
Okay.
And the reason I use frozen corn is
Yeah.
if you do a little bit of prep, this should take you less than 20 to 30 minutes to cook.
To get dinner on the cooker.
Correct. And it's
Great.
healthy. So because I don't, and if you really, really, really want to make it super fast, you could actually blanch the broccoli, which I don't.
No, then it
So-
makes it kind of soft.
Yeah, so what I attempt to do is actually, so the only thing that goes in a little bit, cooks with the meat, is the garlic and the onions, and then I'll sprinkle more onions later.
Okay.
And then we'll put some bell peppers and tomatoes, and that's at the last, and it's more for color and crunchiness. So basically, this is gonna be almost raw.
Yeah, good.
And-
Now tell me, you had a
Okay.
You had a secret recipe. You had this marinated in
7-Up, Sprite and oyster sauce with garlic.
equal amounts.
No, kind of. So what I normally do
Yeah.
is, so this is 3.5 pounds, and it's boneless chuck.
Okay.
The reason I like chuck is if you can see, it has pretty decent
Marbling, yeah.
Right. Now, a lot of people think it's tough, but actually it's not that bad because we're not going to overcook it anyway, too.
The best way is to just kind of have it like rare, not medium rare.
Yeah, so essentially it's hot enough and the wok does that,
Okay.
where it sears it.
Okay.
And so that tastes, and then of course, I cut it a little thicker, but normally, if you wanted, you can cut it a little thinner.
Okay.
And boneless chuck, when it goes on sale, it's reasonable. And by the way, I buy the roast because it's usually 20 cents less per pound.
Because you didn't have to cut. They didn't have to cut
Right,
it up.
so I
free.
figure, why pay to get it cut when I can cut it? And then you can buy it and freeze
Okay.
what you don't use.
So let's go back to the recipe. Is it like 1 can of Sprite to about maybe a couple tablespoons of oyster sauce?
Yeah, so it's about, because I did 2 separate packages, so
Yeah.
about 6 ounces in each, which is about a pound and a half.
Okay.
And then the oyster sauce is probably half cup each
Oh, okay.
inside. And because I
Oh.
normally will soak it the night before,
Yeah.
because the other reason for the citric acid and the caramelization
Yeah.
for the meat
Yeah.
is that it also tenderizes.
Ah.
So,
Okay. So then you can use a cheaper cut of meat when you marinate it with something like that.
right.
That cuts it.
And so if you want more a fruity flavor, you can put you slice oranges and put, you know, because the citric acid in the orange is
break
good,
it down.
and then
Yeah.
the bitterness of the peel
Yeah.
kind of gives it a little different. And we're gonna do that too. So we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of lime
Okay.
on top.
This on your boiled.
Yeah. So it's boiling. So we'll just take our frozen corn.
Okay. Let me open this up for
Yep.
you.
And again, the reason for the frozen corn, although
Yeah.
you know during the summer we have fresh corn, right?
Yeah.
But you, no matter what the
Put it in.
occasion is,
Put it in.
yeah, yes, and you can always have the frozen. The other thing is the consistency for the size of the cob
Yeah.
and also the kernels. You cannot beat the frozen corn,
Ah.
and it makes it simple and easy.
Okay.
I used to add a little bit of half and half, but the problem is if you don't eat all the corn, it sours really fast.
Oh, yeah.
So this way, you know, it'll last for 2 or 3 days and still
Yeah.
be pretty good.
Okay, I put it in. How long do you want to cook this?
And then actually you bring it back to a boil
Okay.
and then simmer and it should be done.
Oh, okay. As soon as it simmers, then I'm going to turn it off.
Yeah, after it boils, yeah.
Okay.
We'll bring it
Any
to a
other
boil.
seasoning in it? No.
No,
That's it.
only
That's it.
1 block of butter, usually for 12 to 16 niblets. I mean corn. They call
Halves.
it the mini
Yeah.
cobs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then I used 3 pinches of the alai salt.
Okay. That's
And
it.
if you don't have alai salt, rock salt is,
Rock salt.
is just as good.
Okay. Why would you not want to use like kosher salt or something like that? Is this better?
You
Is
know,
it
to
sweeter?
be honest, I can't tell the difference. So I think, no, I like the alai only because it has a little bit of the mineral
Right. It has
flavor.
that red
but
dirt.
I've never cooked with kosher, so I'm not sure. But I know some
Okay.
people that would.
Yeah.
But I have not cooked that
Okay.
way.
Because usually people have regular salt, table salt, or kosher salt at home for cooking, and not very often at home they would have alai salt.
Right. Now, one thing I have learned to do
Yeah.
is season just before it's finished.
Okay.
And 2 reasons. One, it hopefully doesn't take the moisture out of the meat.
Okay. Because
And-
it pulls,
Right.
salt
and,
pulls,
and it,
yeah.
and it would just give it the flavor, that
Flavor,
I want. Yeah.
right.
So
Okay.
in this case, we're probably not going to use any salt because we got the oyster sauce.
Okay.
And
right.
then if we want a little bit more of shiru or sauce, then
Yeah.
we'll add a little bit. And I also, of course, my favorite is Club, but Club is hard to find low sodium.
Do they even have, who makes it? I thought they shut down the place.
They
Somebody-
have, but Aloha is the next best. The Kikomen is a little bit too strong.
Too strong. Is this more watery? Is that why?
I believe so.
Okay,
So
got it.
we're gonna cook my version of beef tomato.
Okay.
And then we'll clean the wok, and then we're gonna go portobello stir fry.
Okay, let's get everything ready, and then we'll start this. I'm going to turn this on, so,
Yeah, and we'll use a little bit of olive oil,
okay.
and then on the garlic, we'll just smash it instead of mince it so that it'll infuse
Bring
a little
it on
better.
up.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So
very
I
good.
have it soaked in, and again, it didn't soak as much as I'd like, so we may have to
Yeah.
add a little bit more. And then so, all what I do is
You can use this knife if it's sharper.
oh, okay.
I think it might be sharper.
Oh yes.
Yeah. that
And
one.
then so, you know, just about what?
Okay. And does
quarter
it
of an
matter the way you cut it is against the grain or with the grain?
To be honest, with the grain is better, but at the end of the day, I do it for the size of the, because it doesn't get grainy if you so.
Okay.
But I cut it thin enough where most times you're not gonna notice the difference.
Okay.
And then I leave the fat on only to give it a little flavor.
Okay.
But
I see you have the chunks of garlic in there.
yeah, I did,
Yeah.
only because I didn't have as much time to soak, so I needed to infuse as best as I could.
Okay.
So, you know, if you prep, the most difficult thing that takes time is cutting the meat. Other than
Yeah,
that,
the mise en place is the hardest. Once you get everything together, you just pop, 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 and then it's done, right?
yeah, basically less than
Right.
10 minutes, I think, to cook.
Right.
Maybe 5 to 8, and you're
That's good.
pow.
That's good.
And the wok is better than what you cook because the heat is even, so it'll cook the meat
Yeah.
and brown it faster.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, some people, if they want the meat to be browned a little better, they'll use flour. I don't.
Yeah. Or cornstarch.
or cornstarch.
Yeah.
So today we have about 3.5 pounds.
Okay.
But you know, normally what I do is, and by the way, if only because I wanted it the flavor with the chuck, I use top sirloin.
Okay.
And the reason is it's one of the leanest cuts of beef, and it's generally pretty palatable. In other words, it's not,
Yeah.
you know,
Easy to eat. But also like what, $17 a pound?
when it goes on sale,
At
not
$8,
too
$9.
bad. And sometimes, you know, when you get a really good deal on the tri-tip, then I'll buy some tri-tip.
Are you almost ready? Can I put
Yes.
some, can I get some?
And we can actually start stir frying the meat.
Okay, I'm going to coat it, so.
Okay, good. And so even in the you know, and by the way, just looking and managing, so that
Yeah.
extra, so that olive oil is the extra light.
Oh, that's also part of what,
So the challenge with cooking with olive oil
yeah,
is the flash point.
yes.
Can I get it too hot?
Because it has a lower point, so.
Right.
Actually, it's refined olive oil with extra virgin olive oil. That's interesting. Usually, sometimes they put other types of oils, but not in this
Yeah,
case.
and so, you know, lazy man style, either just use corn-based or vegetable.
Canola oil.
Yeah. So,
Okay, what do you want me to cook first?
we're gonna cook the beef,
Okay.
and if you
almost
if you
ready.
want, we can get a couple cloves of garlic, and I'll smash it to put more, so we can get.
Okay. How many you need?
About 6.
Okay, very good.
I mean, garlic is healthy,
Yes.
and so when I smash it up, it should be okay. I mean, even if you digest it, no?
Well, I've been told that you can do, if the recipe calls for X amount, you can go up to 6 and it still won't, it'll be still fine.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Somebody told me that.
So my thing is, I have no recipes when I cook.
That's fine.
So it's like,
It
we get this
usually-
many people. I look, okay, need some more.
Yeah, but usually that's a better way to cook, you know. And then I always think that recipes are a guide. Not necessarily, you don't have to follow it to a T because everybody has personal tastes. So it's just a guide to tell you, okay, you should do this or that, but you can change it. I'm gonna start sizzling some of the
Yeah.
fat.
And one more piece and we're polished.
Too bad
So-
we don't have smell-o-vision because it's starting to smell good, but we do smell up the building.
So the good news is going to get plenty cacao,
Oh, we gotta invite all kinds of people.
because this one here is generally a lot of meat. So my wife tells me, we gotta eat more chicken, we gotta eat more fish. And so what we'll do is, I like to cook some of it with onions to get the onion flavor in.
Okay. Okay,
And so it'll, the onion will kind of,
yeah.
of course, again, if you really press for time, like when I do my hamburger, I just take Lipton onion soup and I put them inside.
Okay.
But, for a family of 4, this really isn't that much, because 1 or 2 onions, depending you want, a bunch of broccoli and 2 tomatoes.
Yeah,
And you don't even have to put the bell peppers if you don't want.
right. But it's always good if you, to add all of these vegetables because you kind of force the kids
It
then
does.
to eat vegetables too. Otherwise, they're only going to eat the meat, right?
So that's the other thing, Audrey, which I didn't realize. So growing up, we ate a lot of vegetables.
Yeah,
And in fact, my mom, before time, you used to have the sampan come, right?
yeah.
And you have your own store of the vegetables.
Yeah.
So we used to buy, my mom used to buy a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
But little did I know, it's like adding, stale bread to your hamburger.
Yeah,
Well, it made it moist, but it was more to stretch,
yeah.
stretch the
That's
food.
right. That's right. is
Okay.
with
So,
vegetables.
oh, good. You slice the mushrooms.
Okay,
these
what
are-
would be the next thing that needs to be cooked more?
Okay. Then, actually, drop the onions.
Okay, give me some more onions.
And so there's 3. These are small. These are Eva onions, the sweet onions.
Oh, okay. From Aloon Farms, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any Maui. So if I didn't have enough colored bell peppers, I was gonna go with the red onion to
Okay.
give it again.
Uh-huh.
And the red onion tends to stay a little bit firmer. And so these are hamakua mushrooms.
So, David, you do all the cooking at home for your wife?
No, so my wife retired the end of December,
Oh, she did.
finally.
Yeah.
And so now she felt guilty all those years old because I'm a simple person, so I don't really care what you cook. I mean, you could
Yeah.
open a can of pocket beans and make corned beef gravy, and I'm happy.
So now she cooks for you when you come home.
Mostly, but you know, even if she doesn't, it doesn't bother me. I mean, I still like opening a can of tuna
Yeah.
and just eating it like that. And then so sometimes what I'll do is, so one of my, unfortunately, sneaky faults is I love the big scoop Fritos. And I make tuna and mayonnaise and I eat them like that for my dinner.
Oh, you're very easy to please.
Oh yes, I mean, I could eat almost the same thing every day and I'd be happy.
Okay.
Okay, so
That's
now what we'll do is we'll do the broccoli because onions look good.
Okay. Like you said, if
And
we
then-
got timed, it would be ready in how many minutes?
Usually, what, about 8 to 10 minutes. And so,
Kind of big. We want the broccoli because it is fresh to be kind of a little bit crunchy,
yes, correct.
right?
And then, only because, you know, we're not going to put too much of the bell peppers just for the color. But I like bell peppers too.
Yeah, me too. I just eat them like that.
Okay, so then what we're going to do is...
We're pretty much done
yeah,
with
we're
the,
done. And
with
then
this. So
we
next.
probably, I add a little bit of more.
Okay, oyster sauce. Do you have a particular brand you like?
No,
Because some people
to
are
be honest,
particular.
whatever's on sale.
Okay, because the Kum whatever
Yeah.
brand is really good with the lady and the fishing boat picture. That one's really good.
Okay, and we'll add a little bit of shoyu.
So you can see there's no recipe. You just have to kind of go by the taste.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's probably not gonna be as salty.
Not going to taste the same every time.
Correct. It depends.
Depends on what you do, how much of this or that you put
Okay,
in.
then we add a little bit of shoyu.
Okay, about
I'd say what? About 2 tablespoons.
coming into 3, about a quarter cup,
Okay.
maybe, no?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess so.
Okay.
And then we can add the bell pepper.
Peppers.
Give it color.
What pretty.
Okay, we stir that in.
Okay.
And then the mushrooms.
And these are ali'i hamakua mushrooms.
Yep. And I think this is komata.
Kaumatas.
Kaumata, yeah.
Yeah, I think
And,
so.
and you can tell the flavor is really sweet.
Yeah.
And then just stir it a little bit. And then,
Are you going to thicken it at all with cornstarch? No need.
you know, I didn't bring, but if you have,
I have.
do. Yeah.
I have.
Just a little bit to thicken it, correct. And we
Yeah.
can do that before we put the tomato.
Okay. Let me go get it. Okay, you can
Okay.
keep stirring that and I'll get it here. You just want a slurry, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just before
That
we
was
call,
what
we'll
he was
squirt
worried
a
about.
little bit of lemon.
I'm gonna put about a tablespoon to start. The lemon,
Okay,
that's
so
interesting.
what I do too when I make my cornstarch,
Yeah?
Although nowadays we have, we use the Keurig K-Pods, but I usually
Yeah.
the night before is I save the coffee,
Huh?
and then my Shido is the coffee.
Really?
Yeah, because the caffeine in the coffee gives it a different flavor too, right? And which is also, like,
Okay.
so certain,
Ready?
yeah, so certain
Is enough?
roast recipes do have like
Yeah.
the coffee grain rub,
Really? Oh, yeah, yeah.
and
I've
that's
seen
because of the caffeine is also a
that. Is it a softener?
yeah, and it gives it a little different taste. Okay, that looks good.
Is
Now
that
we'll put the
thick enough?
tomatoes. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. Could be. Yeah. Wow, ready.
And actually, that's pau.
Okay.
And then if you want, before you eat it, you can put green onion.
Okay. Let's
So
just
this one is
scatter some
pau,
for
so
pretty.
you can let that stand.
So for the next thing, we're going to do a side dish, which is portobello, and I think he has some chop suey vegetables
Yeah,
too.
like a stir fry.
So let's do this right now, okay?
Okay, I soaked the portobello in some
Crushed garlic
Right. and olive oil, and then we're gonna use the lemon pepper for seasoning.
all right, very good.
And depending on your taste, you can add the a little bit of oyster sauce if you so desire.
Okay.
And so we'll just get the crushed garlic that was soaking. We'll put it in there with a little olive oil.
Do you want, yeah, I was going to say, do you want me to get olive oil too? A little bit, yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And so, and again, Kilo Products does a great job. And the reason for the chop suey vegetables is
Yeah.
I think it gives it. The only other thing I would add, and I forgot to go get, was watercress.
Sometimes it's hit or miss watercress.
Yeah, and the watercress just makes it crunchy,
Yeah,
so kind of nice.
yeah.
And so what I do is, generally speaking, because this is going to be fast, and you don't want the mushrooms to really cook that much.
Yeah.
Of course, this tastes really good over the grill.
Oh, yeah, I bet. A little bit smoky taste.
Yeah. And so every once in a while, also, if I have it in the in the kind, I'll add a little bit of liquid smoke. Just to give it a different flavor.
That would be nice. Wonder if I have liquid smoke here. Usually I have
And
it in the pantry.
actually, the portobello mushroom goes quite a ways,
Yeah. It doesn't shrink like the other button mushrooms.
No,
Yeah,
it has that texture that stays, no?
yeah. That meaty texture, yeah.
And so this one is really, really simple.
We're getting the, I
And
don't-
then, in actuality, with the exception of the meat and the colored bell peppers, this meal for a family of 4 probably will cost you less than $50,
No, really.
which is not too bad.
Which is not
home-cooked
too
meal.
bad, considering that even vegetables are getting to be expensive.
Yes. Well, and harder to find local vegetables.
Yeah. Try really hard to do that, but it's not that easy.
No, and then the reality is too is after the vegetables are picked, which I told my wife, which is why we're kind of going more to
I'm gonna put that in because it's burning.
frozen.
Yeah.
Is the nutritional value it dissipates quite quickly.
Yeah.
So, and again, frozen vegetables are real easy.
Yeah.
So even like we're making stews, like or chicken or whatever, they
Yeah.
have now the little 1 pound size frozen vegetables. We use those.
Oh. I just put a little bit more. It's gonna absorb all of that flavor. Okay.
Okay, and then are you ready for the veggies?
Pretty
a little
soon.
bit more.
Let me cook this a little bit more.
Oh,
So
you
tell
can
me
start a
about your
garlic.
trip to Japan. Did you eat some interesting foods there?
That was the most disappointing thing because we didn't have hardly any time on
On
land.
shore? Oh,
Yes,
that's
so
sad.
our last port was Hokodate, which is on the north side of Honshu.
Yeah, yeah.
And coming right off the boat, they had the morning market, the fish market.
Yeah.
And all the crab and the and one of the things my good friend told
Now
me,
you can put that in.
you gotta eat the hairy crab.
Oh, and did you?
No, we didn't have a chance.
Oh.
So that's why we're gonna go back this time and actually one of they said the favorites of Japanese is the city of Kanazawa, which is supposed to have like I don't know, like unbelievable amount of sushi restaurants.
In
So-
where? Kanagawa. Where?
In
where?
Kanazawa.
Oh, Kanazawa.
Yeah.
That's where my son is right now,
Oh wow.
on vacation. My middle son. He's
Well,
showing
good.
me pictures of all this food and how much they feed him. I'm like, oh my God.
Just a little bit of lemon or
Okay.
lime. And same thing on this one here, only for a little bit. And then
Yeah.
on this particular dish, only because the green, I'll add more green onion.
Okay, for color.
And same thing with this one. Okay.
Okay.
And we're all pow.
We're done. Are we ready to eat now?
Of course.
Okay, let me plate the corn. And the corn is okay just sitting in there
Yes.
for a while because it absorbs all the liquid.
Right. So normally after we pow the evening, then we because the water will cool,
Yeah.
and then we bag it after that.
We're not rebagging. All we're gonna be gone. Promise.
Well, that's the plan.
I promise it will be gone. Okay, let's get this plated so we can taste it. Okay. Let's give this a taste. It looks delicious and the colors are so gorgeous, David.
Let's see.
Good. Nice flavors.
So this had minimum amount of salt. Well, the shoyu and oyster sauce was most of the salt, no?
So it's
And,
important to kind of watch your sodium and sugar.
So,
I had to try the corn. I'll make a
okay, try the
a
corn
mess.
and see.
Oh, the butter has all been absorbed in. It's really good. Very good.
And something really simple.
Yeah,
Of course,
that was wonderful.
I mean, microwaving is also the other option. The only reason I boil is one step. Boil the water, put the butter and the salt and pow.
But with microwaving, after it kind of cools off, doesn't it get a little hard?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so
Because
this one is a better.
Right, because it sucks out the moisture.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show and showing us your talents besides selling cars and taking care of cars. You're a wonderful cook.
Well, thank you.
Your
It
wife's
was our
very
pleasure.
lucky to have you.
Well, she said, I like to eat, so I gotta cook.
And thank you for watching the Audrey Wilson Cooking Show. Until next time, aloha.
When you want a great meal, local style, turn on the Leo and sit a while. Watch and listen, then you'll know just how to do it on Audrey Wilson's Cooking Show.
The preceding program was a production of Naleo TV.